Today we're checking out the Maui Go 5 battery-powered PA setup by LD Systems. This has an 8-inch subwoofer on the bottom, and then it has 3 of the really slim speakers that go up on top. This system is insanely lightweight, and like I mentioned at the beginning, it is also battery-powered. I've had this system for a few months now, and it's been really helpful to have. I've used it at about 8 different shows, and I'm going to share my experience with you in this video, as well as do a rundown of the setup. The 3 main things that I really like about this system is that it's insanely lightweight. It's very easy to use and it's very easy to set up, but not every speaker is right for every person in every situation. So in this video, I'm going to go over to see if it's right for you, go over who this is for, and also who this is not for. Before I get started, I do want to say many thanks to Sweetwater for sending this over for me to check out for the channel and for sponsoring the video. Just as a reminder, I always get final say in my opinions of these products, even for sponsored videos. But thank you to Sweetwater for sending this over. I love the system, and if you want to check this system out for yourself, there are purchase links to purchase from Sweetwater down below in the description. That's enough of the intro. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and let's go ahead and get started. So here is the 8-inch subwoofer, and on the top, that's where you have all of your controls and all of your inputs, which I'll show you here in a minute. You also get 3 of these speakers. Some people call these line arrays. Some people get really mad when you call these line arrays. Whatever you want to call them, these are the 3 speakers that go up on top. One of them contains the battery, and you can push this button right here to see where your battery life is at. But you can see they connect down here using these little pins. It is insanely easy to set up. They just connect like this. So connect all 3 of them together. And you can see that there's also one on the subwoofer. The one with the battery goes down here on the bottom. And then the other 2 go up on top. And you have this nice, tall, a little over 6-foot speaker. Very nice, very slim, unbelievably easy to set up. So here on top of the subwoofer, this is where you have most of the inputs and the controls. So you have an XLR 1/4-inch input over here and a volume control for that mic input. You also have volume knob for the line input, which is actually on the side of the speaker, and I'll show you that here in a second. You also have a 1/4-inch high Z input, which is great for guitars going direct, very helpful for acoustic guitar players. And you also have a spot here for either a 3.5mm input or Bluetooth input for playing background music or something like that. You also have controls over how loud you want the subwoofer to be and how much you want to boost the high-end signal. And then here's your main master output. You also can set this to be in mono or stereo, and it does give you a few indicators like when it's getting a signal, when it's peaking, and when it goes into protect mode to protect it from overheating and stuff like that. Here on the back of the subwoofer, you can see this is where you have the power. You can either run this off of power if you don't need it to be battery powered, or you just plug in the IEC cable here, and that's what will charge the system itself. You do want to make sure that that top speaker is plugged in, because remember, that's what holds the battery. And then you also have 2 line inputs here on the back. You need to do mono or stereo, and you also do get an XLR system output as well. And that's pretty much it. That's really cool about the system. And like I mentioned at the beginning, it's very easy to use, very lightweight, very easy to set up. Not a whole lot of bells and whistles, but at the same time, it gets the job done of what you need. As far as some of the specs, as far as the power, it's 200 watts RMS. I personally never think that peak is important, but for those who do, it's 800 watts peak. The horizontal coverage angle is 120 degrees, and the vertical coverage angle is 20 degrees, so it has a nice spread to it. Frequency response is 50 hertz to 20 kilohertz. The weight of this is great, just under 20 pounds for the sub, and just under 8 pounds for the top, so like 29 pounds total. If you're interested in any of the other specs, go ahead and pause the screen now. So the battery power, it can run up to 20 hours total depending on how you use it. It's advertised as 20 hours in lounge mode, 10 in live mode, and 6 in DJ mode, with it being basically maxed out. The battery life has been great for me at all the shows that I've done. I've never had it die on me or anything like that. However, if you do need more battery life, there is a really cool accessory that you can get with this. So now I'm going to show you some of the accessories and add-ons that you can get with this unit. So first of all, they have cases that go over the subwoofer, as well as a case for the tops. Very nice for transportation. You even have a little zipper spot so you can grab the subwoofer by the handle, which is nice. And you have this case for storing the 3 different tops in here. And you have a spot for a 4th one. I'll show you why here in a second. This is like $100. I'll link to this down below where you can get it from Sweetwater as well. I bought these cases just with my own money because I like this system a lot. Definitely very helpful to have. You also can get a battery replacement. So remember how that column speaker, the bottom one, has the battery. So if you need extra battery life for like a really long event, you can get an extra one for $200. Very, very cool. As of the time of shooting, the Maui 5 Go is listed at about $1,000 in black and then $50 more in white. So you have your option if you do want it in black or white. So like I mentioned, I used it at 8 different shows recently, and in multiple different situations and setups, and each time it worked really well. I'm going to go over who this is for and who this is not for a little bit later, but I'm going to show you how I used it first. So the first show was just an acoustic set that I did with my wife at a restaurant. It was on a random Tuesday night. Side note to all the musicians trying to have more gigs, if you can perform acoustic, it's a good way to get more weekday shows. If you play in a band, those are mostly done on Fridays and Saturdays, but it's a lot easier to find restaurants and coffee shops and little acoustic patio stuff on the weekdays, just FYI. And this system is perfect for those situations. So normally when we do our duo, it's 2 vocals and 2 acoustic guitars. I blew out my voice completely for the show. I just got this PA system, so I was like, well, why don't I just play guitar and she just sing for the whole show? We used 2 of the portable wireless systems that I just reviewed by Joyo, super cheap and worked really well. It was so fast to set this up. The PA, the mics, the wireless. It also worked really well because there wasn't really a spot for power. We were playing for like maybe 50 people out on the patio. I did get some footage of me singing one song. I asked my wife if she'd just get some footage since I'm doing a YouTube video. So here's a little bit of footage of me using it. Just FYI, when the camera moves, the mic is also moving. So as you move closer to the subwoofer, you're going to get more bass. And as you back out, you're going to get less bass. That's just the way that the speaker is getting picked up by the microphone from our phone. I shouldn't have to say that, but I also know that I've done enough videos that common sense doesn't always make it into the comment section of the videos. But just so you know. So here's a little snippet.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring.
For the second show, it was a corporate event. They wanted an acoustic duo to play before the band started. For this one, I just provided sound for it. It wasn't performing. And this is where I realized it's great for solo performers, especially just like acoustic guitar and 1 microphone. But when you have 2 microphones, it's a little bit tough to get that, unless if you have an extra mixer. So I've been checking out 2 of them. One of them is the Mackie Mobile Mix, which I am starting to check out. And I do plan to do a review of that in the future. And that's what I used at this show. We were setting up outside. It started to look like it was going to rain. It was very easy to just move inside. Took like 2 seconds. You could actually just lift up the entire thing and move it inside, which was great. Also didn't have to worry about finding power or running extension cords or anything like that. Really, really convenient. And then the duo just performed inside. For show 3, it was a similar situation. Duo had to perform an acoustic set for a cocktail hour during a wedding. I didn't get much video footage of this one because I had to set up 3 different PA systems in 3 different locations. So I was basically like, okay, I need to get a little bit of footage and now I got to go do other stuff. At this show, and let me know if you have bandmates like this. I'm sure you do, because if you're watching this video, you're probably more of a gearhead like I am, but you probably also have musicians who just couldn't care less about gear. But at the show, one of my bandmates who doesn't really care about gear that much, as I was setting it up, he was like, oh, that's really cool. And then he performed with it and he goes, what is this system called? This is awesome. I love it. So even one of my musician friends who doesn't really care about gear at all was impressed by this system. For show 4, it was that exact same restaurant me and my wife played at as well. My wife did get a little bit of footage of me singing at that one.
And I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight, 'cause it's bound to take your...
Also, my mother-in-law came out to that show. She got a little bit of footage. We posted it on our Instagram as well. You can also follow us on Instagram at YouWillDuo. The 5th show was an acoustic set at a coffee shop. At this one, my wife was super sick, and my wife doesn't normally get knock you out sick. She normally pushes through it, but she was out with whatever she had. So it actually worked well. My former singer, Julie, she was actually in town because we just played a big July 4th show. So we flew her in for that show, and I texted her that morning. I was like, are you still in town? Do you want to come do this acoustic set with me? And she did. So thank you, Julie, for saving the day for that one. So on this one, I used the Elite Acoustics battery powered mixer. This thing is really cool, and there will be a video coming out on this soon. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see our video on that battery powered mixer when that video comes out. Pairs perfectly with this. But the system worked perfectly for a little acoustic set at a coffee shop as well. So at this point, I was kind of like, okay, this works great for acoustic sets, obviously. The next show is performing at a wedding with a band. They wanted a little bit of background music while people were showing up for the ceremony. So I just connected with Bluetooth and just played, in a playlist from Spotify while people were showing up. Worked perfectly for that. And then they wanted, for cocktail hour, they wanted just a musician to just play guitar to backing tracks. No vocals, they just wanted some chill background music. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna play guitar over some tracks, make a little bit of extra money at this wedding gig. Played like a 60-minute set, worked out really well. I probably got the most footage of this one. Many thanks to my singer Steph, who got footage of this one. She got footage of me just playing like a Jason Mraz song. Just remember, as the camera moves, the tone is going to change as you move around the speaker. That's just the way that works. That is not the speaker making it sound weird.
Should have gotten shots of me eating the bruschetta during my guitar solo.
I did have to set up a way for me to get the click track in my ears so that I could play guitar before, like drums came in and stuff like that. But it was just a little dual direct box. Worked out really well. This worked great for that too. For show 7, which I just did over this weekend, I used it for dinner music at another wedding. I've played so many weddings this year, I swear. And this one, I just use it as a Bluetooth speaker. And you can see the size of the tent that I needed to cover. This worked out perfectly for it, actually. It was just a nice volume. During the dinner part of a wedding, it's not supposed to be loud party music or anything like that. Again, took like 20 seconds to set this whole thing up. Plug in Bluetooth, play a jazzy playlist from Spotify, and it was good to go. It filled up that entire tent with a good amount of sound, and it spread the sound a lot. So that was also great just to use as a Bluetooth speaker. And then show 8 is tonight. I have about 20 minutes to finish filming this video because I have to leave to go do another acoustic set. That's why I don't have my Babbitt sitting up here on the wall behind me, which it normally is. It's already in the car. I'm trying to finish filming this before my acoustic set tonight. Well, we just got back from that show. We were setting up outside. It looked like it was starting to rain. We moved inside, and we had the smallest spot possible that we could play in. So another benefit of this thing is just how small and slim it is. We're able to just fit it in a corner. This thing takes up so little stage space. It's really cool, and that came in handy for this show. Okay, so pros and cons, and who is this for and who is it not for? Before I get to that, if you are finding this video helpful, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It truly does help the channel grow, feed the YouTube algorithm gods, and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. So the pros is how absolutely stupid easy this is to set up. It takes like 20 seconds to set this whole thing up. Also, obviously, that is battery powered. You don't have to worry about finding power or running cables, especially in restaurants and stuff like that where people can trip over them. Speaking of tripping over them, one of the things that I really love about these types of speakers is the subwoofer on the bottom and then the long, skinny speakers on the top. You don't have to worry about stands that stick out, which again is a trip hazard because that ends up taking up a lot of space. Very thin, takes up very little stage space. I really like that about the system. There would have been no way for me to fit this here with speaker stands. The sound is fantastic. It sounds really good. For acoustic, it sounds really good. I do find myself turning up that high boost a lot and turning down the sub for acoustic sets. And then if you're playing background music, the sub, it's an 8-inch sub. Don't expect it to be a massive thumping sound, but there's a nice full sound with it. It sounds great. Bluetooth, of course, is also really great. I also like that it has built-in compression in there, especially for singing. I like having a little bit of compression, and it sounds really good. The level of the compression in here is actually really nice. As far as cons, I really do wish there was like a built-in reverb. It'd be really nice if, especially in the mic input, it had just a reverb. I can't be too picky because this is the thing that we all run into. We all want something super compact and portable, but then we're like, well, I want all these features with it. So I'm not that picky about it. However, I do really wish that there was just a little bit of reverb, just like one knob that you could put on that first channel with the microphone input. And the con is that the mic input is quite quiet. This is what I've seen is the biggest con and the biggest complaint online. If you see reviews about it, they say that this system is very quiet. I mean, there's a part of me that goes, well, duh, it's a battery powered speaker. I'm curious on how big of an event they were trying to play for that they said that this was too quiet, but likely it's because the microphone input is very quiet. I do find myself turning that up quite a bit. However, if you do need more power going into that mic input, you can also get a battery powered mixer and go into either the mic input or the line input, and you can drive it a little bit more. So if you do need to get more power out of it, that's the way to do it. However, I found playing, patio sets for 50, 100, up to 100 people, it actually works really well. I don't really think you need a lot more than that, but get the right speaker for the right job. So who is this for? Especially for acoustic solo acts. If you play acoustic guitar and sing, or play keys and sing, because you also have those line inputs. If you're playing for, 100 people or less, I think it's absolutely great for that. Background music music for events. It gets loud enough for what I think it is for background music for events or stuff like that, or backyard parties or cocktail hours or dinner music. Not having to worry about finding power is also really great and really helpful. So who is this not for? I don't really know if I could say this is not for someone, but I found myself wanting to use this as a duo multiple times. I do almost wish that there were like 2 mic inputs, 2 high Z inputs, and then 2 line inputs. You can't be too picky because again, we all want stuff so compact and portable, but then we're like, oh, I want all these features. But what I'm saying is like if they came out with like a Maui 5 Go Pro or something like that that had those many inputs and a reverb, I would get that in a heartbeat for sure. But again, you can also always get a battery powered mixer, and I am going to review a few of those coming up here in a couple weeks. So I think what I'm saying is if you want this to be the only speaker that you use for a duo, you are going to have to get a little battery powered mixer or just a mixer in general or something like that. Not the end of the world, just trying to make sure that you get the right system for you. If you need a really loud system, this isn't the system for you. And again, that's the main complaint that I've seen. I'm really curious how many people they're trying to perform for that they say it's not loud enough, because in my opinion, I know, hey, it's a battery powered system. You're not gonna be able to push this as much as you can a powered system. I wouldn't say performing acoustic guitar or something like that for more than 100 people. And then, like I said, that tent that I did for that wedding dinner set that was completely full. The sound was really nice just everywhere that you went in there. Don't try to be the guy playing, for 500 people, a massive set and wondering why your battery powered system with an 8-inch sub is not enough power for that event. Get the right speaker for the job. This one is great in all those situations that I used it for. And I do highly recommend that you do not use this for weddings where you need to do like speeches. So you know how I did that for like that dinner set or the cocktail hour set? Oftentimes someone comes up and they have to do a toast. Do not use it for that. Musicians know how to sing into a microphone, but anytime you give someone a mic for speeches, they always end up doing this. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out tonight. I'm really glad that you came out here. Can you turn this mic up? Can you turn the mic up? I can't hear anything. But overall, I'm going to continue to use this system. The portability of it, the battery poweredness of it, it's just so convenient. And if you did find that this system is right for you, there are purchase links to purchase from Sweetwater down below in the description. Again, many thanks to Sweetwater for sending this over for me to check out. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful. It truly does help the channel grow and feed the YouTube algorithm gods, and I would appreciate it. A couple of battery power recommendations of mine. There's the MyVolt Step Up, which is a really cool way to power your 9-volt, your 12 volts, and your 15-volt gear with USB-C. So if you have, like an effects pedal or something like that, you could use that with this and still get it battery powered because you can power it off like a power bank or something like that. Really cool system. Check out my video on that. And something that I think would pair really well with this is actually the Sheeran looper. Not the really big one, but the smaller one that they have. That is a 2-track battery powered looper that I think could actually really pair well with this system. So you can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. Again, many thanks to Sweetwater for sending this over. If you guys have any other cool gear for me to check out, please leave them as a comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.